They started off in the beginning talking about the coronavirus. People got 6 months worth of toilet paper, took all the toilet paper, trying to open up a toilet paper online business. These people are crazy. So the coronavirus, each Biden and Bernie are discussing the ways that they would mitigate and the way that they would slow down and do their best to eradicate the coronavirus spreading throughout the United States. Now, I watched both Biden and Bernie Sanders addresses to the coronavirus, and Bernie's was hands down better than Biden's. I mean, it took Biden like 8 minutes to even address specifics about what he'd do. Everything else was high platitudes, meandering talk. What I don't like is I got a feeling that Biden went, looked at what Bernie said, and kind of cleaned up his game a little bit. All right? So, because Bernie's was like a 10-point, we're going to do this, we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to do this. And these were all radical things Bernie said, like, making sure people can take time off work and still get paid. It's not their fault we have a pandemic. Epidemic is confined to one country or one place, and pandemic spreads across, is international, spreads across countries. So that's the difference. And Bernie talked about specific things to remedy it. Now, there was something in there that was kind of interesting other than, usual talk. Biden kept talking about Ebola. It's like, why? How many Ebola references do you have to have before that's enough Ebola references? And then he couldn't remember H1N1. And he does that a lot. And then the one time Bernie said Ebola when he meant to say Corona, there were people going, oh, Bernie said he messed up. He said he said Ebola. But Bernie caught it himself. He said, see, Joe, you've been saying Ebola so much, you got me saying it. I meant Corona. So you got to, so please take your tweets back or something. I saw you tweeting out there, guys. Bernie Sanders, that's a gaffe. He missaid a word. Biden did something more than just missay words. He kept doing it. And doing it. He said Ebola like 7 times. Are we talking about the coronavirus or the Ebola virus? And how many times do you need to restate? We could do the same thing we did when we had the Ebola virus. When the Ebola virus took place and we did this and the president and the Ebola. And when the Ebola, he just kept saying, he kept restating what he'd already said. He said the same thing 3 times in a 3-minute stand, in a 3-minute period. There was one part of the coronavirus argument or segment of the debate where Biden took a shot at Medicare for All. Because, Bernie's bringing up Medicare for All would be great if people had health coverage. Be kind of great. And if people knew they could just go see a doctor and they wouldn't have to pay any out-of-pocket expenses, maybe more people would go. Then we'd be able to catch the virus better. Of course, that's crazy talk. It's crazy to say everybody should have health coverage. That's crazy talk. That's wacky. That's communism. That's crazy, kooky, scary socialism for people, your next door neighbor, the child sitting next to your child in school being able to go to the doctor. That's crazy talk. I don't know why we would want that. Totally ridiculous for the person that your daughter in your daughter's dorm be able to go to the doctor and not be worried about how much money they had to go. Do you understand the cynicism that you have to agree with that statement? Like now, Joe Biden said, well, in Italy, they have a single-payer system. It's not helping them now that they have the coronavirus. Having a single-payer system didn't help them. It's not about just you need a system, but you also need a lot of institutions. Italy, my understanding is they lack a number of hospitals. They don't have enough hospitals. No matter what system you have, if you have a lack of resources, then your system's not going to work effectively. The United States is the opposite. We pay twice as much. Once again, Biden went back in the coronavirus part. He's talking about Medicare for All, hitting Medicare for All. Guys, please, anybody watching, I hope some new people are watching tonight. Please understand this. When they say you don't know how much Medicare for All is going to cost, I want you to know we pay more than anybody else right now when we don't insure everyone. There's no reason why we pay so much. We pay so our insurance and our health coverage is so high, our costs are so high because of all the profit built in. Okay? So if we strip out the profit, we could pay less and cover everyone. Do you understand the markup? Anybody here a salesperson? Anybody sell anything? You know the markup margin? When you mark things up, they cost more. That's our health care. And if we cut markup, we'll pay less and insure everyone. That's how much of a markup there is in health care. So the corona, not to stay there too long, but they stayed there for a lot longer than I am. But I just want you to know that back and forth, it was much needed. It's important. I don't know how much it helps people, but as far as people who are deciding between Bernie and Biden, but I think it needs to be said. Biden forgets the word pandemic like 5 times. Yeah, he couldn't think of, like Biden couldn't remember what he was even talking about a number of times. It's like he'd be talking and he'd want to say pandemic and he just said the thing, you know. I don't know, he just kind of like ended abruptly without stating what he's... So this happens a lot. And in the beginning of this as well, Biden looked really pissed off. I mean, he often looks pissed off, but he really seemed edgy, temperamental, and angry in the beginning of this thing. I'm like, why is he so angry? What happened? Jill wrecked the Corvette? Somebody milked your ice cream? Or a major donor drop out? Like, what happened that made Biden so irritable? And all I can think about is I'm watching this angry Joe Biden next to a reserved, calm Bernie Sanders, who I thought was a little bit too reserved in the beginning. Wanted him to be more feisty. All I could think was all the people that said that Bernie was mean and loud. All the corporate hacks who kept saying how mean and loud Bernie is, all I kept thinking was, look how horribly mean Biden is. And no one, I bet you tomorrow or tonight when I read up on this, when I read their comments, none of them will mention how temperamental and cranky and off-putting Joe Biden was. I wonder why, Johnson. I guess my eyes lie to me. He was happy. Then they moved on. They talked about a couple of other things I thought were good. They talked about Joe. I think Dana expressed that Joe had changed positions on a couple of things. It was either the lady who filled in for Rojas. So there was a couple debaters there. I mean, a couple moderators there. Anyway, I forget which moderator it was. It brought up about Biden changing position on a couple of things. One of them was about free tuition. He's like moved on the tuition issue. And the whole time Bernie's smiling because we know who championed the tuition, free local tuition, right? Yeah, Bernie Sanders. That's one of the things I want everyone to really think about is that Bernie has changed the narrative in this country dramatically. Bernie doesn't do this and he doesn't do that. He changed this country. Do you think Biden would be talking about free local college tuition if it weren't for Bernie Sanders? Of course he won't. He had to even admit it. Like, I'm not saying that Bernie's always wrong. He's right about some things. Well, yeah, obviously. He's right about some things. At least you're not wrong about everything, Joe. That's when Bernie started focusing on Biden's lack of leadership because Biden, they brought up bankruptcy, and I think that Biden is now joining Elizabeth Warren or supporting something about Elizabeth Warren's bankruptcy's bill. Okay, we'll give people the opportunity to file bankruptcy, which would include student loans. And we all know Biden, even though he doesn't recall it, Biden was a part of that bill that removed the ability for people to discharge student debt if they file bankruptcy. So Biden was up there denying truth. And he kept denying truth. I want you, let's be clear, guys, everybody. Biden was up on that stage tonight. He denied that he was a part of making it harder for you to discharge debt. He sort of denied the Hyde Amendment, that he was against poor women being able to use Medicaid or other services in order to get abortions, meaning he was trying to restrict poor people from getting abortions. Rich people don't need to go to a clinic or to use Medicaid or any other health-related program to get help. But poor women do. Biden was for the Hyde Amendment. Fracking. For some reason, it's crazy. Biden sounded like he wants to end fracking. He's never said that before. And when we point out these things, he doubles down on lying. But his biggest lie tonight, was about cuts to Social Security and Medicare and veterans' benefits. Guys, I'm going to cut to the chase a little here on this one because you need to hear it. Joe Biden, he gave Bernie Sanders a gift tonight. And that's why this debate is not classified as winners or losers or get out the race as I normally would, because Joe Biden gave us the gift tonight that proves without a shadow of a doubt that he is untrustworthy. Untrustworthy is what it proves. He proved that he is unabashedly a liar. The man proves that he lies and he doubles down on his lies. Bernie Sanders was like, he could not believe that Joe would sit there in front of the entire country and lie, change history. Bernie's like, hey, you didn't vote. You're the one that was on the Senate floor fighting to get cuts to Social Security, Medicare, and veterans benefits. No, it's not true. No, Joe, there's actual video of you doing it. No, it's not. Never happened. Then he admitted he didn't want to do it, but he did it. He did it because he did argue for it because he was talking about balancing the budget. Well, it doesn't matter why you did it. You just did it and say you shouldn't have done it. But you call Bernie a liar for pointing out that you did it. It didn't make sense. Is that the president these people want? I guess they want a president, one that lies. He lied about the Iraq war vote. He said he didn't know that him voting to authorize a resolution to invade Iraq was a resolution that could mean you would invade Iraq. I mean, hold on. Back at this time after 9/11, Bush and Cheney wanted to go into Iraq and wage war. Everyone knew it. Hell, we knew it. We were kids, and we knew it. Biden wants us to believe that he voted for them to do that, along with Hillary. I don't know if Hillary voted for it, she supported it. She voted for it? These people that voted for it, they voted for it. This is what they did. A lot of people voted for it. A lot of people feel badly about voting for it. Obama ran on not voting for it. This is not the first time this has been brought up. Biden, since he knows it's a loser, he can't argue why it was good to vote for. Now he says he was confused about what the vote meant. You get what I'm saying? Now he's saying he didn't know that the vote could put us at war. You know, there's a lot of people who argued against that vote. So Biden was for the Iraq war. He supported the Iraq war. Bernie did not. Instead of just saying, yeah, I voted for that, I shouldn't have, in true political and scumbag politician form, he says he did not support it, which is a bald-faced lie. Bold-faced faced lie. He's lying, Johnson. He's lying to you. He's lying to me. He's lying to everybody. And I think right there, because I was concerned for a bit because I thought Bernie was being too nice. But Bernie stuck the landing. He stuck the landing here. He did not let Biden off. Of course, Dana Bash, whoever was talking, the moderator, Jake Tapper, none of them are holding Biden accountable for any lie. The bankruptcy bill, the Hyde Amendment, they weren't chiming in. Bernie had to take over the debate. In fact, I haven't seen enough praise for the way Bernie took over this debate tonight. He turned to Biden on several occasions and had to ask pertinent questions because Dana and Jake weren't going to ask those questions. Why haven't I seen? Look, some people are letting us down, even in indie media. On Twitter, I saw this. I'm like, why aren't people pointing out that Bernie is taking over the debate? He's taking it too. I didn't tweet as much as I usually do because I was so engaged because Bernie was answering the question. But hold on. Joe, let me ask you. And then he put Joe on the hot seat. And Joe would blather on for a long time about nothing, saying the same thing 3 times. Now, I'm not saying there are Joe supporters who will change their mind, but there are people, I believe, that exist who want the best president. They actually do. I don't think everyone is got Jim Clyburn on speed dial, waiting for Jim Clyburn to tell them to wash their ass or to get up out of bed or what color Kool-Aid they could drink or whatever. I think some people think for themselves. And I think when Bernie turned to Joe Biden and put him on the hot seat and Joe lied and kept lying, and you could tell. So it's like obvious logic is like, if Bernie keeps saying you said this and he's lying, that would be like the end of his campaign, wouldn't it? Yeah, it would be. That's how you know the burden of proof. Bernie's past the he supported it. It's on Bernie to speak truth to power. He's doing that. That's what we wanted from him. So, and look, here's the thing. It's difficult because we have no way of knowing what they'll do, what CNN will do, what MSNBC will do, what CBS will do is they'll go talk to a couple people and be like, hey, what you think of the debate? Oh, well, I think that there's a new show coming out, new Westworld coming out, and the new Westworld coming out has a couple really good, attractive actresses in it, and I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great. No, the debate. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and vote for Joe, because I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know nothing. Vote blue anywho, and, let's invade Cuba. You're going to have some people like that who are just plain ignorant to what's going on. And I'm not saying there aren't a lot of people like that, but what it does is demoralize you into thinking that that's everyone. It's not everyone. There are some people who really don't like lies. There's some people who still believe it's possible that you can get somebody who can be honest. Climate change. Bernie clobbered Biden on climate change. Is it enough that Biden fall out on the floor in a fetal position? Mama. No, he didn't do that. I'm sorry. Bernie didn't berate Biden enough and to the point where Biden had a mental collapse and fell out on the floor in a puddle of his own body fluids, sucking his thumb and crying for his mama. Sorry that didn't happen. But what did happen was Bernie made it simple and plain that, yeah, you got good ideas, Joe. They don't go nowhere near far enough for the existential threat that we're facing, that our children are going to be facing, that our children's children are going to be facing. He's at one point, because Biden kept saying Paris Accord, the Paris Accord, the Paris Accord. I thought he was making a new rap song. It's the Paris Accord, the Paris Accord. And Bernie shut his shit down. He said, Biden, Joe, big deal. Big deal with the Paris Accord. Big deal. It's not going to change everything. We need to take steps. And the only way you're going to take those steps is if you challenge the fossil fuel industry. Curry, this is where we are. Once again, I didn't hear enough people. I didn't see enough people on Twitter. It's like people are defeated to the point where they want. Look, I never expected Bernie to come out there and run the dozens. His name's Bernie Sanders, not Bernie Mac. He ain't gonna come out on stage and roast Biden with a bunch of takedown words and your mother, oh you son, I'm telling you, mother. You know, here it's Bernie Sanders, not Bernie Mac. He said, oh Joe Biden, I'm tired of these mother. I ain't scared of you, mother. That's this Bernie Sanders. But what I did expect him to do, he did. He took control of the debate. He started asking questions like he was a moderator. He crushed them on climate change. He crushed them on Social Security. He crushed them on trustworthiness. Trifecta. Crushed them on immigration, too. There was one part, though, that I wanted more from Bernie on. But now that I'm thinking about it and I talked to my wife about it, I'm thinking better of what Bernie did. Now, that was the part where Dana asked Joe Biden why he wasn't doing better with Latinos. Of course, Joe lied. You deported more of the Latinos than any other administration. Like, that's why, obviously, you threw a lot of them out of the damn country, Joe. I seen you throwing them out of rallies, telling them to go vote for Bernie if they got a problem with it. Instead, we get all this word salad. It's obvious, Joe. A lot of people don't like the Latinos, don't like a guy who kicked out their mother and father. And Bernie's talking about eliminating ICE raids. You aren't. No, I know there's some Latinos that are like, safe, I'm here. Oh, no, here come a bunch of other people. Stop. Hammer time. All right? But Bernie was also like, hey, but we're not advocating for open borders. I know some people say that they are. I disagree with those people. But anyway, the point is this. After Dana asked Biden that, she asked Bernie, like, why aren't you doing better with blacks? And I kind of wanted Bernie to just say it, man. Just say it. Barack Obama got on the phone at the 12th hour, 11:59, and called up Pete Buttigieg, called up Amy Klobuchar, told them to drop out of the race. Then someone got on the phone to Cory Booker and Kamala Harris and told them to publicly support Joe Biden, both who are very critical of Joe Biden. Then Beto O'Rourke dragged himself out of, I don't know, some saloon in El Paso, and he supported Joe Biden. So now we got 5, 6. Then Andrew Yang. Well, that was much later. The establishment coalesced around Joe Biden at the dark of night. And a lot of people who weren't paying attention were like, well, it looks like Joe's the guy. It's like everybody else believes in Joe. Guess I believe in him too. I hope he can beat Trump. I haven't really been paying that much attention, to be honest. That's what happened. They coalesced around Biden. I was winning. For all the stuff that people say I didn't do, I was the front runner until that happened. For all of the, you should have done this, Bernie, you weren't aggressive enough. Why weren't you tougher? He was winning. He was winning. And then the establishment does what the establishment going to do. They said, you fall on the sword, you fall on the sword, you come and reject, and you come and basically turn tail on all the stuff that you said you stood for and do what we want you to do. You too, come do it. And they all did it. Then Clyburn came in and he just sank South Carolina. So first South Carolina sank because of Clyburn, and then you got these other guys playing there. And then the cherry on top was Elizabeth Warren stayed in it the whole time, just to make sure the vote was still split. Any more questions? Dana? That's why I lost the last few states. That's why he's doing better now. Everyone fell in behind him and supported him. It's not because he's better articulating a message. It's not because he has better policies. People have even said that they believe that Bernie's Medicare for All, for instance, is a better policy. They don't even know that Joe don't support it. Their number one issue, Medicare for All, and then they voted for the guy who's opposed to it. It's like a disconnection between reality. And that's why Bernie Sanders says that they've won the ideology war, because there are people who agree with his policies. And if you don't think that matters, I'm not sure you're thinking this thing through. Because with that type of pressure, that's how you get presidents to do your bidding, whoever they end up being. Hope that it's going to be Bernie Sanders. So that's why Biden won those states. But Dana, you already know that. I guess you want the world to know. So, to wrap this up, guys, to wrap up this debate, Bernie won this debate hands down. But if you were looking for a moment, well, actually, I think you were given that moment. It's just you want the moment to be something, so devastating to Biden on his face that you can go, oh, that's where he lost the race. I think being proven a liar in front of the world is pretty bad. I think it's pretty bad. And I think Bernie hanging on that issue for the uncomfortableness that it generated for Biden, I think it was epic. I don't think it's been done before. It wasn't just a sound clip. In this format, it was perfect. It's an issue that older voters are concerned about, that some of them hopefully will work the internets and go look it up. I think they can Google that very well. I think it's something they can find. Joe Biden, Social Security, Senate floor. Pop right up. And I think that's going to hurt Biden. How much would it hurt Biden? I don't know, guys. It's unfortunate that we're all, by human nature, we just want that knockout blow. It was no knockout blow. I mean, short of Biden dropping the N-word, heck, even if he said the N-word, Clyburn would give him a pass, because Clyburn unilaterally made Joe Biden a black man. Yeah, I didn't get my voting slip, Jim Clyburn. No, I didn't know you was the determinator about who get to be black. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that. You got that authority. Interesting. Somebody need to include me in the phone poll, because I would have voted against that immediately. So, like, what could Biden have done to get knocked out instantly on a stage like he was in there with Tyson? I don't know, man. But I think being proven a liar kind of sucks. I don't think that helps you. I don't think Bernie did anything that hurt him. At least I can't think of it. I can't. And the only reason why, even when I say I think that it would have been better for Bernie to call that out and call out how the establishment coalesced around Biden, the only problem is Biden will only deny it, and it'll make Bernie look like a conspiracy theorist. And Dana and Jake, they're not gonna like do anything to help Bernie at that point. They're just gonna let it happen. So it could have went badly for Bernie. So I said it on Twitter. I'm saying it now on this show. But what Bernie should do, I don't know if he should say that. If you say that Obama made phone calls, Obama pulled these punches for you, Obama set things in motion to derail your campaign, Joe might say, how do you know that? Why would you say that about my good friend, the first black president? He's a good man, and you are degrading him, you're degrading his name, you're despising his name, I don't understand, but you've been there, and another thing, you got another thing here, buddy, because really, come on, man, this is really, and they start doing that stuff, and it's like, oh man, maybe Bernie shouldn't have said that. So, that's why I don't try to armchair quarterback too much, because you got to think two moves ahead, not just your jump, your move, but the move the other guy makes. And it'd be really easy for Biden to just deny that's how it happened. Maybe these people just think I'm the stronger candidate. You can't disprove what their reasons were. And then Cory Booker just come out and lie and say, no, Actually, I was the mayor of Newark, and I like Joe. And Joe's a good, strong candidate. And he's our best chance. And no, I'm offended, frankly. I'm offended that Bernie Sanders would suggest that I would not support him. I would support him. And no, Obama had nothing to do with it. We need more love. And Bernie's not giving us the love. Oh, we need more love. Spartacus. And then Elizabeth Warren will just be like, I stayed in the race because I wanted to stay in the race, because I believe the American people deserve a fighter, and I'm there for the fight. You know, I'm a little tired of you bald-headed, you milk-dud heads, fiddly sticks. I'm really upset. Why do you think it's fair to say that a woman can't stay in a race? Huh? If I split the vote, I split the vote, Tim Black. And I'm offended that you would suggest that Michael Bloomberg dropped out all of a sudden. The guy spent $500 million. He stayed in the race for one day. He told everybody he was staying till convention. All of a sudden, him dropped out and threw money at Biden. That's a reason, right? Well, yes, I put a lot of money into it, but I don't want to be president. I have to be around too many peasants, and frankly, peasants smell. You know, and having to look into a microphone and look across at all of the blacks and the poor peasant whites and Latins, it's not interesting to me. Rather be a billionaire and have you do my bidding from behind the scenes. Rather do that. Charles, come rub my back with your tongue. Sylvia, prepare me a shot of NyQuil with Adderall and add a little bit of liberal tears to it too. So, all those things I said may be true, or to some extent, but everything I said was true about all of these conditions that were put in play to get Bernie Sanders to after that record-setting. Remember, 3 states in a row, never been done ever in the history of our politics, ever. New Hampshire, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, never done before. Then came the establishment, ushering in, like a bull in a china shop, knocking over everything. So here we are, guys, and now we're going. What does this mean for the race? You guys ready? I don't know. I don't know what it means. I can guess. I believe that there are some people who were going to vote for Biden a little bit unsure at this point. I believe that there are some people who value trustworthiness more than you think, more than I think, because we're pessimists at this point. We can't believe they would vote for Biden to begin with. But I believe in people that some people will not like that Biden, obviously, was for cutting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and veterans benefits. That he doesn't deny all the bad trade deals he was for. That he did. The whole Anita Hill. I'm still wondering why so many sisters support Biden. I can't understand it. You know, Anita Hill had 3 witnesses to testify on her behalf. They witnessed, they heard what he did. And Joe wouldn't let those 3 witnesses appear. Did you know that? Well, that happened. I guess we just ignore it now because, So, it was an interesting debate. I think Bernie won this debate hands down. Is it enough to knock Biden out? No. Did people think Biden would just go ballistic and have a total meltdown and rush Bernie, knock over the podium and take his pants down and take a dump on stage? I mean, what were we expecting to happen? I mean, thank God that didn't happen. But I'm just saying, like, what do we expect? So Biden did his level best, which was lie. Lie when confronted. Deflect. A question that could be answered in 15 words, he used 70. He misstated stuff. He repeated the same thing 3-4 times in an answer, in a single answer, the same thing over and over. Saying it louder as if that somehow made it more believable. And this is what he does. I don't think that guy can beat Trump. So God help us if he becomes the nominee. That's another thing people need to be thinking. Is there enough difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump? At least with Bernie, people got to choose. There's something to choose. With Biden, there's really nothing to choose. Trump tied Biden and Hillary. It's a wrap, gone, donezo. See you in 2024. Go Bernie Sanders. After the vote, I do an analysis on that too. We do a breakdown of every election day. So we'll be doing that again, guys. See you then on Tuesday. Much love to you. Much love. Welcome.